Hey, what's going on, guys? OJ back here with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the pound for pound rankings. Now, if you look at the official UFC website, this is what the pound for pound rankings show right now. Overall, I don't think these are bad. I expected it to be a lot worse because the UFC has a track record of putting out nonsense rankings for the pound for pound list. But I got to give props to the UFC. This could have been a lot worse. That being said, there are some changes I would like to make. I don't know if everyone will necessarily agree with them, but I think this is what I feel the pound for pound list should be. And I'm going to give my reasonings as to why every fighter will be placed as such. So, without wasting any more time, let's jump right into the video. All right, now we're going to start off from numbers 15 to 13. And immediately, you guys will notice that Charles Oliveira is not in the pound for pound rankings. And listen, I love Charles. I'm a diehard Charles Oliveira fan. I delusionally picked him to beat Ilya Taporia. All right. But I feel that Charles Oliveira at this point has lost a little bit too many fights. I believe he's like 2-3 out of his last five fights. And yes, it is against top level opposition. But at the same time, I feel like there are more fighters that are like more representative that could be like higher on the pound for pound list. Like take for example Movsar Evloev. Now, am I necessarily a fan of Movsar Evloev? No, but I can't deny the fact that he is undefeated in the UFC. And yes, I do think the Arnold Allen fight was a robbery, but at the same time, his hand got raised, and he won a fight since against legend in Aljamain Sterling. So while you can nitpick Movsar Evloev's performances, the fact that he's like consistently getting his hand raised, I feel like warrants him a spot in the pound for pound rankings. And unfortunately for Charles Oliveira, I think I don't know why he's still in there at this point. Like again, he's just lost way too many fights, in my opinion, for him to be in the pound for pound rankings at this point. And now for number 14, I got Arman Sarukian. Arman Sarukian, I guess he's like in a little bit of a similar situation to Movsar Evloev. Like Sarukian does have a lot more finishing potential. He does have more highlight reel knockouts and just finishes in general. But typically, a Sarukian fight will go to a grueling decision. And he has a lot of close calls, like for example, against Mateusz Gamrot and Charles Oliveira. And for number 13, I put Hamza Chimaev here because, like, I guess he fought similar level opposition to Arman Sarukian, but Hamza Chimaev is demolishing everybody he fights, minus Kamaru Usman and Gilbert Burns. Like, he literally ragdolled Robert Whitaker and broke his jaw in the first round. And he hasn't looked all that bad outside of his Kamaru Usman fight. So I guess Chimaev, he's also looked very dominant, and if he fights like a DDP soon, I can definitely see him bumping up a lot higher on the list if he wins that fight. But right now, I'm gonna say that Chimaev's number 13 and Sarukian's 14 because I think Chimaev's performances are overall more impressive. Now, number 12 to 10, I think it's very interchangeable. Like, I won't argue with any of you guys if you think Max Holloway's number 10 or Alex Pereira should be moved back or maybe Bilal Muhammad's number 10. Who knows? But the reason I have it as such is because Max Holloway, like, yeah, he was on a big win streak before losing to Taporia, but that loss has been a while. And you got to keep in mind, I feel like activity is the main thing when it comes to the pound for pound rankings. Plus, I believe Pereira and Bilal Muhammad were both on longer win streaks than Max Holloway, and especially Bilal Muhammad, who although has more boring performances typically, he was on like a 11 fight win streak or something along those lines prior to losing the belt to Jack Della Maddalena in a very fun fight. So I think Bilal Muhammad, yes, there are like a lot of things to like nitpick his performances when it comes to entertainment. Bilal Muhammad, he has been winning a lot of his fights up until he fought JDM, and I believe JDM is massively underrated. So I put him above Max Holloway right now. If Max Holloway beats Dustin Poirier by like finish or something like in 2 weeks from now, then yeah, I'll put Max Holloway as like much higher than Bilal Muhammad and Alex Pereira. But I believe Bilal Muhammad just by the activity. Same with Alex Pereira, but like Alex Pereira, I know he lost to Magomed Ankalaev recently, but he's been on a tear in 2024. Like you can't deny that. It's only been like a year since that amazing run happened, and I believe Alex Pereira, although he should be on the decline by now, I believe the fact that he's won like almost every single fight at light heavyweight, beat like a bunch of former champions, and the fact that he was like fighting once every 3 months, should still warrant him a top 10 spot within the pound for pound rankings. Again, this is very subjective, and I if you're gonna interchange all of these guys, then I'm not gonna argue with you. But this is how I feel right now because these two fought recently and they've been on massive win streaks prior. And Max Holloway, he's been resting a lot because Ilya Taporia absolutely chinned him. All right, now moving on, we got from number 9 to number 7. I believe that Ankalaev should be number 9, and I believe JDM should be number 7. Tom Aspinall, I believe, stays where he is. The reason I have as such, Magomed Ankalaev, like, yes, he beat Alex Pereira, who was like pound for pound number 2 at the time. But outside of that, who has Magomed Ankalaev exactly beat? That's like noteworthy. Like, he beat Alexander Rakic. I think Alexander Rakic is basically light heavyweight Leon Edwards. He beat Johnny Walker. That's a glass jaw, like a moving glass jaw that can get knocked out by a gust of wind. He beat Nikita Krylov. I think that was like one of his good wins, but Nikita Krylov since has been exposed as an aggression merchant by Dominic Reyes, and like you can say he beat Jan Blachowicz, like I think he did, but again, the UFC gave it a draw. So I don't know. It's kind of awkward to give Ankalaev a higher spot, in my opinion. And Tom Aspinall, I think he's like properly rated by the UFC. Tom Aspinall, he has knocked out every single competition he's fought, like in like less than a minute or two. But again, it's heavyweight. Most heavyweights are not that good. Like outside of the top 6 or 5, yeah. Outside of those guys, like a lot of people in the heavyweight division are just fat heavyweights, like NPC fat fucks who barely train, who just eat Popeyes as their like nutritional diet and stuff. So I think Tom Aspinall, had he fought John Jones, he would have been bumped up a lot higher on the pound for pound list. But unfortunately, John Jones ducked him. So I think this is where we rate Tom Aspinall for now until he fights like Cyril Gahn and absolutely destroys him in the minute. And then as for JDM, just coming off the win against Bilal Muhammad, I believe out of all these three, JDM has the most impressive resume prior to getting the belt. Like he beat Gilbert Burns in a finish. He beat Kevin Holland in a I'd say like a relatively boring performance for JDM standards, but it was still fun. He had that fight with Basil Fez. I know Basil Fez has lost a lot of fights. I just think that JDM, he's beaten a lot of better competition relative to Magomed Ankalaev and Tom Aspinall's competition. So I just put JDM as a lot higher. Also, the fact that JDM has shown a lot more skills than Magomed Ankalaev. And even Tom Aspinall, who again, I get it, he knocks everyone out in like a minute or two, but at the same time, like he's not showing much to be honest because it's heavyweight. But I just think JDM is he again. If you want to say Tom Aspinall's ahead of him, I wouldn't argue with that. I do think JDM right now should be valued more than Magomed Ankalaev just because of his rise to the top, and he's also undefeated since joining the UFC, which is another big factor, which is why I'm gonna put him at number 7. And if he beats Islam Makhachev, I can see JDM bumping up a lot, minimum like top 5 at least. So I think JDM, I think he is very valuable right now, and if he beats Islam Makhachev soon, I can see him jumping up more from there. All right, now from number 6 to number 4, again, I think this is very properly rated by the UFC, but I kind of want to switch Pantoja and DDP in my opinion, just because I feel like Pantoja he's been a lot more active, and I feel like he's fought a lot like what relatively better competition. Like I know that DDP's fought the more like name valued fighters, which is why you can argue that he should be higher on the pound for pound list. But again, Pantoja. He just fought everybody in the flyweight division, and he lapped the flyweight division. Like DDP, yes, he has a lot of great wins against Robert Whitaker, Israel Adesanya, Sean Strickland, but DDP, in my opinion, he has a lot more fighters to go through. Meanwhile, Pantoja, he's if he beats Pantoja, oh, wait, I'm sorry, if he beats Joshua Van, and then he's starting to look for more competition in the flyweight division, he's going to lap his division. Like up next is probably going to be like the rematch with Manel Cap. So I think Pantoja at this point, like he should be valued a lot more than DDP. But maybe if DDP beats Hamza Chimaev, he's going to move over Pantoja, and I wouldn't argue with that. And Volkanovski, like he did come off that loss to Ilya Taporia, but he's bounced back since. So and he's had a great career before losing to Ilya Taporia. So I think Volkanovski is properly rated, and I think you can switch between Pantoja and DDP. If you think this isn't warranted, then like I understand. I'm not gonna argue with that. But to me, I feel like Pantoja has been fighting the more tougher challenges than DDP in my opinion. All right, now last but not least, we got numbers 3 to 1, and I think this is exactly how I would rate it. Like the UFC has rated it as such, and I don't mind Ilya Taporia being the number one pound for pound best fighter on the planet. I know a lot of Islam Makhachev fans that come out and saying that this is bullshit. Ilya Taporia shouldn't be the pound for pound best fighter on the planet just because he beat Charles Oliveira. But Ilya Taporia moved up a weight class and then won a second belt. Now, that's the thing. We, as pound for pound fighters, like you're kind of basing it on what happened right now. Like Islam Makhachev, he fought in January against Renato Moicano. Are we really gonna rate a win over Renato Moicano over a win over Charles Oliveira? And fair enough, I know that Islam Makhachev beat like a more in prime version of Charles Oliveira, but again, this is all recency bias. That's what the pound for pound rankings are. And right now, there's no indication that says that Ilya Taporia shouldn't be the pound for pound best fighter on the planet because he's knocking everyone out. He's knocking all of my favorite fighters out, unfortunately. But if Islam Makhachev maybe he goes up to welterweight, beats up JDM in October, then yes, we can put him as the pound for pound best fighter on the planet over Ilya Taporia. But again, that's gonna be like 3 or 4 months from now, so I'm not really gonna change my mind until then. And there's a possibility that Islam Makhachev might lose because I think JDM's very underrated in my opinion. But that's a topic for another video. My overall opinion on this is that Ilya Taporia, he just got a highlight reel knockout, and until Islam Makhachev like puts on another statement. I feel like this is the appropriate pound for pound rankings. Like we got Marab at 3, Islam Makhachev at 2, and Ilya Taporia at 1. Because again, the pound for pound rankings indicate what's going on in the sport right now, and right now Ilya Taporia is that guy. All right, that's gonna be for today's video. Leave a comment down below how you guys would put the pound for pound rankings together, and just give me a thumbs up as to whether you agree or disagree. You know, leave it all down in the comments below. But other than that, make sure to like and subscribe. Give me some more video ideas I can make because again, I'm running out of them. But until that next time, I'll see you guys then. Peace.